Today's confession from the dark is brought to you by the general who ate the American soldiers. In a war-torn land where survival is a daily battle, General Marcus Hale commands his troops with an iron fist. But as the conflict escalates, a gruesome secret begins to emerge, one that could shatter the morale of his soldiers and turn the tide of the war. Whispers of bizarre disappearances echo through the ranks, and unsettling rumors surface about the general's unholy appetite. As the remaining soldiers uncover the horrifying truth, they must confront not only their ruthless leader, but also the darkest corners of their own humanity. Just when they think they've pieced together the mystery, a shocking betrayal leaves them questioning who they can trust. Will they be able to escape the general's deadly feast before they become the main course? The final revelation will leave readers gasping as they ponder the true cost of loyalty and survival. Let's dive into this horrendous story.
Welcome to the shadows where secrets reside. Confession.
For years, the whispers were just that, whispers. A footnote buried in classified documents, a ghostly rumor passed between intelligence officers, and a grim legend among the few who knew the truth. But the truth was sealed, buried beneath layers of redacted reports and heavily guarded archives. Until now, the files have been locked away in the National Archives for decades, hidden under the highest classification level. The operation was known as Project Revenant, and for those who had access to its contents, it became a stain on their souls. The United States military had encountered many horrors throughout its history: war crimes, betrayals, and unimaginable loss. But nothing compared to what happened deep in the uncharted jungles of the Eastern Front during the Cold War. The official story was that an elite unit had gone missing in action. No bodies were ever recovered. The few scattered reports that did surface hinted at something far worse than enemy capture. But those reports were quickly buried, their authors silenced or reassigned. Then, in 2023, a former intelligence officer, now dying of a terminal illness, decided he could no longer keep the secret. He mailed a flash drive to an independent journalist with one chilling message. They called him General Morrow, but he was not a man. The unsealed files. The first document on the drive was dated 1968. It was a field report from a special reconnaissance team sent into the jungle to investigate the disappearance of a platoon near a remote military outpost. The team was led by Captain Daniel Rhodes, a seasoned officer who had seen his fair share of war. But nothing could prepare him for what they found. The outpost was eerily silent when they arrived. No signs of struggle, no bullet holes, no bodies, just abandoned weapons, overturned rations, and the stench of something foul in the humid air. The only thing left intact was the commander's tent. Inside, they found a single chair and a bound journal. It belonged to Colonel Andrew Foster, the man in charge of the missing unit. Rhodes opened the journal, and what he read made his skin crawl. It started with the food. The men swore it tasted strange, but we had no choice. We were cut off from supply lines. Then the sickness came: delirium, fever, violent outbursts. They began seeing things in the trees, things that weren't there. Or maybe they were. Morrow has changed. He doesn't sleep. He just watches us. Last night, we heard screams from the jungle. The scouts didn't return. Morrow says they were weak, that we must be stronger. He doesn't eat rations anymore. Only meat. The men are scared. So am I. God forgive me. We are starving. Morrow says there is another way. The last entry was dated a week before Rhodes and his team arrived. It simply read, "Morrow is not a man anymore, and neither are we. The thing in the trees." The next file contained classified photographs. They showed an emaciated yet impossibly strong figure with hollow eyes and jagged teeth standing among the trees. The figure wore tattered remnants of an American general's uniform, but his flesh was unnaturally stretched, his limbs too long, his fingers sharpened into points. General William Morrow had been a highly decorated officer, a man respected by his soldiers. But according to the reports, something had happened in that jungle, something that had turned him into this. Eyewitness accounts from surviving locals spoke of a towering figure that stalked the jungle at night, moving without sound, feeding on the weak and wounded. They called him the Hollow General. He was no longer fighting a war. He was hunting. Rhodes and his team never had a chance. The final classified recording, an intercepted radio transmission, captured their last moments. We found them. Oh God, we found them. They're not human anymore. They're static. Then a voice. Deep. Hollow. Not quite human. Join us. Silence. That was the last anyone heard from Captain Rhodes or his men. The outpost was firebombed 3 days later, and all records were sealed indefinitely. Officially, nothing had ever happened there. But the jungle remembers. And some say if you listen closely on quiet nights, you can still hear his voice calling from the trees. Join us. Thank you for tuning in with us for this unbelievable horrific story. Please stay tuned and consider subscribing to our channel as we will be bringing you more stories weekly.
The power of belief, for the strange is familiar and the truth is a thief. Do you believe? Tell me, what do you know? Are you among us? Just tell us and we'll go. Come.